Hey everyone, Shane here from Jane and Shane Live Acoustic. For those of you who don't know who we are, we're an acoustic act here on the Central Coast. I play guitar and Jennifer Jane sings. And the reason I'm doing this video today is because it's quite often that when we play a gig, I'll have somebody come up and ask me about my guitar and how I get the sounds that I get. Because it is an acoustic act, we're an acoustic gig. It's an acoustic sound, but obviously this doesn't look like an acoustic guitar. So what I'm going to do today in a few quick minutes, I'm going to give you a quick tour of my guitar and my rig. So let's start with the guitar. This is a Godin A6. This is a very specialized guitar. It's made in Canada. And this guitar, what makes this guitar unique is a couple things. Really, is it's got an acoustic component to it, but it also has an electric component to it. Okay? It is an acoustic guitar, but it has an electric component. So if you look at these pickups here, this right here, this is called a humbucker. And this is the electric aspect of the guitar. And then back here under the saddle is what's called a piezo pickup, which you'll find in all acoustic guitars that you can plug in. And it gives it that beautiful acoustic tone. It is a hollow guitar, although it is very thin, and it looks more like an electric guitar. The reason this guitar works for me is with my playing style and a lot of the music and the songs that Jen and I play is because this acts like an electric guitar. Okay, so for example, you've got the neck. The neck has access all the way down to the 22nd fret right here, and it's really thin, so I can really get my hand down there. And it uses electric guitar strings, not acoustic strings. So electric guitar strings give you the ability to bend your strings and get a lot of notes when you're playing leads and solos, you know. Right? And with us, we play a lot. I play a lot of leads. I play a lot of solos, and we do things like that. So a little bit about the guitar, how it works. Obviously, if you look at the end here, it's got two pickups, two jacks, right? One is the acoustic, which I color code my chords. The yellow cord is acoustic, and the blue cord, the blue cable, is electric. So there's two jacks coming out. You have two separate signals for the acoustic and the electric aspect of this guitar. Up here, you've got the controls, right? So this first one here is a volume control for the acoustic, which is always kept up all the way up. I never adjust that. If I want to get rid of acoustic, I'll do it on the board, which I'll show you in a second. You've got high, mid, bass, an EQ. And then below here is you've got the electric volume. Now the electric volume, as you can tell, I've got a piece of tape right here. And the reason I have a piece of tape is because I always keep that at half volume. And I will use this and take it all the way up quite often, but when I'm playing, I don't want to have to look at it. I just want to grab it, hit it. It stops at the tape and it's halfway up. Okay, and these two knobs here are the low and the high for the electric. So this guitar is very versatile. It allows me to sound like an acoustic, but it also gives me that versatility to play a lot of electric stuff as well. One thing about Jen and I and what we do is instead of standard tuning, right? Almost every song you hear played on the radio is in standard guitar tuning, right? E, A, D, G, B, E. What we do is we use concert tuning. Now what that essentially means is I've taken this guitar, the tuning, and moved it a half a step down. So for example, this is an A, and this is a G. So that is one full step. If you go halfway, that's a half a step down. We tune the whole guitar a half a step down, which is called concert tuning, incidentally. And most of the people that you see in concert, from country to rock and everybody in between, they actually play their live shows tuned a half a step down, because when you've got these singers that are singing day in and night out, it makes it a lot easier on their voice. And we don't really do it for that. Jen's voice is built like a tank, right? She's got an extremely strong voice. But we really do it because it opens up her range. By tuning down a half a step, it really allows us to play more songs and make them in their range. And if we ever want to do anything in standard tuning, I will just use one of these. This is called a capo. And I'll put it on that first fret. And just like that, we are now in standard tuning. We use this capo a lot. A lot of the times we'll do it because some songs call for it. For example, if you look at Sugarland, Stuck on You, that's capoed all the way down in 7 because it's played in the key of D. So that song is played all the way up here. So it almost gives it kind of that mandolin sound. So some songs are just played in a higher key, and we'll also do this because sometimes we'll find songs that are easier for Jen to sing. You know, Heart Like a Truck, Lainey Wilson, she likes that capo on too. But then we'll turn around and play 4x4 by You by Lainey Wilson, and she likes that completely open. So whatever works for her voice. So tuning it down a half a step gives us a lot more versatility to do that. So this guitar is a great guitar. I'm actually about to order Godin's new one. It's called a Radium X, which is just like this guitar, but only on steroids. It's even better. So I'll have that probably by February. But anyway, this guitar works really great for what we like to do. I do a lot of bends. I do a lot of leads. I do a lot of solos. And of course, you know, we don't just play country. We play a lot of rock. We play even some metal stuff, you know, toned down. You know, just depends on the setting, you know. When we're playing a winery, for example, that's more just background music. That's more mellow. We're going to stay mellow. But, you know, we might be in a brewery or somewhere where there's a fun crowd and people are into it and they're dancing. And we're going to do a lot more high energy stuff. And so we'll get a lot more into rock and roll and things like that. And this guitar really comes in handy because I am able to change the tones, which I'm going to get into right now. So let me give you a quick tour of my pedal board. Okay, so let's get into my pedal board. If you ever wonder what those pedals are that you see on the ground when guitar players are playing, those are effects pedals. They're everything from equalizers to distortion, overdrive, delay, tremolo, chorus. You can imagine there's so many different sounds. This is my board. This is my unit. And I'm gonna give you a little bit of an idea how this works. Because I have two channels coming out of my guitar, I have acoustic as well as electric. I have two channels on the board. This over here, this is my volume pedal for the acoustic. Right? If I want to turn the acoustic down or off, I just hit the volume pedal. It goes from here to this effects unit. Now this effects unit is dramatic. It's got a preamp, which boosts the signal a little bit and brightens it up. It's got a delay as well as a reverb. These two are really big. For example, if you listen to my guitar right now, you hear that presence it has. If I turn these off, you'll see how dry and unappealing it is. Not good. So these make a big difference on the overall tone. And then from this effects unit, this cable runs out to our DI box, which I'll show you in a second. Down here, before we get into that, this is a tuning pedal. So if I need to tune on the fly, I can check out my guitar, see where it's at, right? We can tune right there, very simple. This is a Newix MG30. So this is an electric guitar effects pedal as well as an amp modeler. Now, what this does is a couple different things. I get all of my effects on here for the electric component of the guitar, but what I will also get is an amp modeler. So I have a bunch of different types of guitar amplifiers, speaker cabinets, as well as different types of microphones, and I can even adjust where the microphone is placed in front of the speaker and the distance from the speaker. So what that allows me to do is to not have to carry around a guitar amplifier, which is nice. I carry enough equipment as it is. The signal sent from here, from this unit, emulates that. So it goes straight from here to my Yamaha mixer with everything else from the mixer to our EV powered speakers. Now we have different channels on here, as you can see. There's lots of them. Channel 31D is for the Godin, for this guitar. The nice thing about this is it has three different scenes. This is scene one, and I'm gonna turn the acoustic off. Scene one is just a clean electric. Scene two, this is the heavy one. This is the one we use for a lot of our, you know, heavier songs. Right? We'll use this one in, you know, Four Non-Blondes or a lot of songs. That's kind of the heavier tone. And then the last scene, scene three, is just like scene one, only it's got more effects. And this is the foundational scene that I'll use. I combine that with the acoustic, and that's the tone that we use most of the time. If you turn the electric off without it, then you turn the electric on and you'll see the difference. It kind of gives that added presence and feel to the acoustic and almost makes it sound like a 12 string. Okay, so this unit is really great. I can adjust it any way I want. It gives me my tone for my electric. right? Now, up here is a boost. This is a boost pedal, and it does exactly what it sounds like. It boosts the electric signal. So for example, if I'm playing an electric part here, and I want the signal to be a little bit louder like a solo, I will hit it. So we use that occasionally, not a lot, but it's there if we need it. And then the last pedal we have is this right here. This is a Flamma. This is a loop pedal. Now what it does is I've recorded 5 different loops. So 5 different backing tracks I've recorded from my guitar onto here, and they're stored on here because we use this as a backing track for 5 songs. Hotel California, just for the solo. What's Going On, or What's Up by Four Non Blondes, the entire song, so I can do all the leads and solos for that. Dreams by Fleetwood Mac, same thing. We play that the entire song so I can do all of the leads and really pretty stuff in that song. Don't Stop Believin', I rarely use that. And then the last one is House of Broken Love, which is newly added, and I usually do that. It's just an instrumental when we're taking a break or something like that. But you can really see the difference by using these. And the reason I use these is because if I'm doing a guitar solo or a lead, mainly a solo, it just doesn't sound great by itself. Like if you listen to Hotel California by itself, for example. Right? That's not great because it has nothing backing it up. That was actually the wrong patch. But if we add this backing track to it, it fills it up and it sounds nice. So right as I get to the Hotel California, the lead, when I go right here, when I hit that, I hit this. And I'm playing the solo throughout the entire part. Right? It's about a 2.5 minute solo. So that's why you use these looping tracks, because it allows you to provide that presence and that backdrop when you're doing a solo. Otherwise, everything just backs out so much, right? So when it loops around, I'll show you how we do that. Same thing. So you can see how that works. So that's why we use those. I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of backing tracks. I think if they're overused, it turns kind of gimmicky. I don't like them. And I think in Jen and I, our entire catalog of over 60 songs, as you can see, we really only use it for 4 songs. So once we do this whole signal, as you can see, this right here, this cable is the guitar cable that comes out for the electric. This cable right here is the acoustic. So you have 2 cables coming out of here. I run them into this right here. This is a DI box. I want to thank my son Braden for recommending it to me. What this does is this takes both of these cables in, as you can see, merges them together, and sends them out. I'm not going to unplug this because it'll make a pop, into an XLR cable, from a guitar instrument cable, a high impedance instrument cable, to a low impedance XLR cable. And we run the XLR cable to the Yamaha mixing board. What that does is XLR cables have a lot less interference, which means a lot less noise. They can go longer distances. And instead of a high impedance guitar cable, it's a low impedance cable. It's balanced. And it's just a much more controlled, softer, better tone running into the mixing boards. So I hope this gives you guys a little bit more of an idea of what's going on up there. I tend to get pretty busy with all this stuff. Sometimes it's hard to keep up a little bit, but we have a great time. Hey, go to our website, janeshanemusic.com, and check out our social media, our Instagram, ShaneJane805 on Instagram. Follow us, check out our schedule. Our schedule is always updated on the website. We're looking forward to get out there. Come check us out. Come say hello. And I hope this helps. And we'll see you guys out there on the road soon.